3WideRacing League is about to close out their 2019 racing season in just a couple of weeks. But tonight we finish out the Nationals Triple Crown at Kentucky. First we visited Texas for 100 laps, then the Milwaukee Mile, and now it's time to finish it all out at Kentucky Speedway. Welcome to SimTV. My name is Kyle Heyer, joined tonight by Finney Nakuna for 100 laps of National Series Racing. New tire model V7 on these cars. We saw the tire wear be a huge issue at Texas, but a day-to-night race here, Finian, should be some of the lower tire wear that we've seen in this car. Your expectations for tonight? Who do you got winning this thing?
Yeah, I think it's going to be pretty similar to what we saw at Texas, obviously being a mile-and-a-half track and similar in shape. But Milwaukee really threw these guys out for quite a loop, and it was interesting to see these guys deal with it. But I think it's going to be pretty similar to what we would expect to see out of these cars. I think definitely going to keep an eye on Gruenberg and Lytle.
Take a look at our overall standings coming into tonight. Tate Lytle is only 2 points ahead of Matt Gruenberg, and he solidified that lead at Texas when he won. But last week at Milwaukee didn't really have a spectacular race, so he's got some work to do to keep that 54 in behind him tonight. So only 2 points separate those drivers as we head down to the racetrack for qualifying here at Kentucky. And again, a day-to-night race this evening. We'll take a look at the track conditions. 68 degrees. It's cool out here, Finian, on the racetrack, so it means it's going to be relatively grippy as well. We're also aware of a trading paints issue tonight that is causing some drivers to not have the correct paint supplied. It's not on my end, it's on everybody else's end plus mine, so can't do anything about it, unfortunately. So some of the paints are not really tied to what driver is actually running on their end. So Matt Gruenberg's not running a NOS Energy scheme. I know some drivers' paints are just not loading, period. Chuck Sweetings is one of those. Tanner Sharps is totally not what he usually runs. I know for a fact, though, that Liam Sheen is running what he's going to be running now, and that is basically a mirror is all he's got running on this thing. Mirror, mirror in the wall at the exit of turn 2, we'll see.
I was going to say, hopefully he doesn't end up in the wall.
That would be the ultimate irony. Warming up those tires, setting up for a qualifying effort here tonight. A couple drivers already laid down. Times Tate Lytle one of those, and again his 56 went to victory lane at Texas and still holds the lead in the standings. He's got one more night to try to hang on.
Well, hanging on to that car off turn 4.
Cross the line for lap number 2, slower. Oh, quicker by half a second. Puts him up to pole. Tanner Sharp currently second. Corey Lindsay out on track in the 00. Didn't see a whole lot of him last week. He'll try to improve his positions. Johnny Thomas in the 83, another driver that was running well relatively early in the race, but you know, I think he's capable of winning a race, and we haven't seen him do it just yet in the Triple Crown. So see if he can get his Camaro up in front tonight.
Yeah, he's run pretty well, but yeah, like you said, just hasn't been close to getting to victory lane. I think he's good tonight. We'll see what he ends up qualifying if he starts his run.
We're right on board here for a lap, just to kind of get an idea of what Kentucky Speedway is like in these cars. Off throttle, kind of middle of the road groove for the 83. Again, this is his first lap, so I'd expect him to really be gearing up for lap number 2 as the tires get warmed up in this cool weather. Beautiful sky here tonight in Kentucky as Thomas works his way down into turn 3, still rolling an outside groove. I think the bottom will probably be the place to be for at least the beginning of the run. Turn 4, this will be his baseline lap, and the second lap will be where he finds time. Keep an eye as well on Matt Gruenberg, who I think is going to start from the tail of the field again tonight. Thomas 7th on his first lap. Throttles back up. Down the back straightaway into turn 3 for his second lap, and we'll see if he can improve. We've been seeing a pickup about a half a second to a second on that second lap.
Could put him inside of the top 5 here, but it's good enough, and we'll see here. He dips down below on the apron, trying to make up as much time as possible.
2:7.29, good enough for 3rd place. And the only other driver out on the racetrack right now that I think can jump any spots is Michael Henry, who's already got some damage on his number 88, and that is definitely not what he was going to be running paint scheme wise. I have to think it looks good, but I have to just wonder if I don't know, maybe it is. I just have to wonder if there's a database error right now or something where they're getting. I remember there was a race at Monza with the Fuel Cup Series where someone's Audi GT3 paint ended up on their Cup car. I don't know how that happened, but so Henry's not quite going to make it back to the start-finish line to put a lap down, so they'll have to start towards the tail of the field tonight. It's Tate Lytle on pole after winning in Texas. He'll get an opportunity to win the Triple Crown Nationals Championship here tonight. As the lights come on, look at that sight down below. Take one last look at our track conditions. It's cool, mostly cloudy skies here tonight. Going to be grippy, fast. And I think the opening laps will be a little bit skatey because the tires won't have any grip in them.
Yeah, and it's really going to take these guys just a little bit to get the tires up to temp, and then once they get up to temp, I think we're going to see them really start to race and go at it. But we've seen a lot of the guys push early on, and then unfortunately they drift back. We saw it with McKeeboy at Texas, and he ended up falling to the back drastically. So we'll see if we see the same thing here. I think these guys have really learned how to really deal with this tire model, at least in this car.
That was the other news this week, is the new tire model came out on the Cup cars and the trucks, so maybe some drivers learning how it interacts on other vehicles. So it's not unique to this car on the oval side anymore. But let's roll through our starting lineup on the front row. Tate Lytle, winner at Texas, currently the points leader by 2 points over Grunberg. He won the pole. Jordan McKeeboy in the 21 starts on the outside.
Moving on back to row 2 in third place, good Johnny Thomas in the 83. He'll be starting in the inside lane. Outside of him in fourth, Tanner Sharp in the 3.
In row number 3, starting in 5th spot, Michael Skinner in the number 48 from Florida. Chuck Sweeting, another Floridian, on the outside of that position. He'll be rolling off 6th in his number 26 car.
Back in 7th place, got Dave Hunt from California. And outside of him in 8th, Richard Hines in the 2 from the Mid-South.
9th place, Kyle Hanshaw from Ohio. Corey Lindsay in 10th in the 00 from Pennsylvania.
Back in 11th place, we got Liam Sheehan in the 72 from the Midwest, starting the inside lane. Outside of him, Ethan Burrell in the 1 from the Northwest, starting in 12th.
In 13th place, that's row number 7, Matt Grunberg, who's only 2 points back from leading the points. He'll roll off 13th. Sam Close in 14th in his number 5 on the outside of row number 7.
Back in row 8, we got Luis Almaso in the 4 car from Brazil in 15th, and outside of him in 16th, Levi Zielinski in the 6 car from Michigan.
Couple more drivers to round out the rest of the field. Michael Henry's towards the back there. But as we get rolling tonight, the discussion's going to be the transition that this track is going to go through. You see the lights have come on. It's already cool. It's not really going to get a whole lot cooler. I'm not sure how much rubber we'll see get laid down. How much do you think this track is going to change, if at all?
Yeah, I think really, if anything, it's going to be the rubber put down. Yeah, it's already kind of started to get more into the night side of things already. So more so than I thought. I thought it was going to start a little bit early in the afternoon, so it's going to be, I guess, slightly less of a transition. I think really what's going to matter is where the rubber is going to be put down on this track, and really, if it's going to be put more towards the middle lane, or if it's going to put way down below on the yellow line.
I'm curious just to see how much grip is available right from the get-go and how long it will take these drivers to get confidence sending it down the inside. We saw at Texas, you can drive this car incredibly deep into the corners before you lift off and jump on the brakes, and you can get really gutsy with it. So curious to see how many drivers are going to wait and how many drivers will go maybe get in over their heads a bit early here tonight. But it's the 56 on pole again. All he's really got to do is keep that 54 behind him, and he'll be crowned champion tonight of the 3WideRacing League Nationals Triple Crown. It's the final race of the season for this combination. Of course, we have tomorrow night in the Indianapolis situation, and that's it for 3Wide for 2019. The field rolls out of turn number 4, 100 laps, about an hour-long race if it goes green to the end. Tate Lytle's going to bring them down. Green flag flies, and we're racing in Kentucky. Clean getaway for the 56 down into turn 3, though. It's Johnny Thomas and Jordan McKeeboy side by side. Remember how much McKeeboy shot out of a cannon at Texas? I'd expect this 21 car to be good early in the run. I think it's later in the run where he's going to suffer as we complete lap 1.
Yeah, that's going to be a good thing. I imagine he's learning to really pacing himself in the 21 car. And I mean, if he can do so, he's up in second place. He's got the lead right ahead of him. He's kind of follow along with Lytle's pace. Should be there at the end.
Yeah, don't drive it too hard. You'll burn those tires off. But side by side for second, Johnny Thomas on the inside. Going to tuck right up in front of Tanner Sharp in the 3. Now dive back to the bottom for the latter part of the racetrack. Michael Skinner in the 48. Rim riding around the bottom of the racetrack. And Chuck Sweeting up on the top.
I imagine we're going to see that outside lane prevail a little bit more. We see McKeeboy making the run, and then also the 3 of Sharp trying to get a run on Johnny Thomas in the outside.
Sam Close started from the pits. He's already 21 seconds back, so he's going to have to get a caution to get himself back in this fight. Look at the 26, Chuck Sweeting rolling the outside groove.
Yeah, outside lane really looks like the place you want to be. Chuck Sweeting's now going to try to make a move, and also Dave Hunt looking to gain a spot up inside the top 5.
Hunt in that 53 has had mixed success in this Nationals car and looking aggressive here early. Behind him, how about Matt Gruberg looking to the outside of Kyle Hanshaw on the 22. Hanshaw takes him up to the wall. And even Burrell didn't qualify, and I was really expecting him to qualify and actually qualify towards the front. He's been mighty quick in these cars. Take a look at the points. He's actually sitting in 5th, which is, he has a chance to finish 4th, maybe even 3rd in the standings if he has a really good night. Some others around him have some poor luck. You see now Liam Sheen driving to the bottom, and he's looking to grab a spot from Hanshaw and the 54. Gruberg, they collide! Cautions out and more. Corey Lindsay
behind him, Salmaso and Corey Lindsay involved.
And that might be terminal damage for the 4. Corey Lindsay's got a bunch of front-end damage as well. First caution of the night on lap number 5. Started with, I believe it was Liam Sheen that dove down to the inside. They just couldn't hold it down there. Let's take a look.
Started to drift up in the middle of the corner.
Gruberg's going to dive underneath the 22. And he just breaks loose right there and just drives up the racetrack and gets into the 22. And Hanshaw, while he's collecting it, gets power drilled from, that's not a term. It gets pile drived from behind is what I was looking for. As Corey Lindsay and Salmaso plow into the mess.
Fortunately for Hanshaw, obviously that damage really getting him back. Not ideal, but could have been a lot worse. Could have been Lindsay or Salmaso's shoes. We see here.
Oh, yeah, there's nowhere to go. And the car doesn't have quite enough grip to make super evasive maneuvers this early in the race. But repairs for the 00. He might be able to continue with that car. And Sam Close loved that because he's going to get to catch back up after everything that happened. Pit stop's underway as Ethan Burrell stays out. What's your thought on that call?
Interesting. Well, I mean, we've gone 4 laps. I mean, I've seen worse calls. I guess might as well, really to see, I guess, how much the tires wear out in such a short amount of time. And, we're talking about expecting him to be further up the field. Well, I think this is a good shot to get himself further up the field.
Yeah, it's going to use this opportunity to grab some track position away. As the lights come on, the track temp drops, and their first caution of the night tangles a couple vehicles, the 22, the 4, and the 00.
Seeing that Tanner Sharp's the first guy to come off the pit road. I imagine he took 2 tires. Everyone else took 4.
Yeah, that looks about right. So the 3 car giving a 2-tire call, and I really am still holding out judgment on the 2-tire calls because I still am not sure how it makes this new tire react. I mean, typically, you fight handling issues generally loose with 2 tires, but I'm not really sure if this is a good thing or a bad thing yet. We haven't really had a good opportunity to test. I would be more interested if we had done 20 or 30 laps what a 2-tire call would do, but right now Tanner Sharp opting for track position. And I think 2 tires certainly better call than 0 right now.
Yeah. So we got 0 tires, 2 tires, and everyone else on 4 tires. Come back for the restart here.
Re-rack them, restack them, go again. This track surface is also quite abrasive. You see the grooves kind of, you go on a highway, you see sometimes kind of plow those grooves in to add some longitudinal grip. But laterally, when you slip and slide across it, it's pretty abrasive. So we'll see how it affects. Some marbles up by the outside wall as well. And we're not going to really see anybody up against the wall tonight. These cars are low enough power that the best line is typically the shortest one.
Kind of looking through it. Matt Grimmer made up quite a few positions at the start. Already up into 9th place after at least starting back in 15th.
Well, 13th, so he gained a couple spots. Again, at Texas, he didn't really run that great at Texas. I mean, he ran like 5th, but like for Matt Grunberg, that wasn't a good run. I'm not sure that he's quite got the 1.5-mile thing figured out yet with this tire, but I'm sure he will shortly.
Well, that'll be a dangerous thing once he does figure it out.
Oh yeah, for sure. Ethan Burrell in the 1 is your current leader. He took no tires to his outside Tanner Sharp, who took 2. Everyone else is on 4 fresh tires right now. Green flag back in the air and racing again here at Kentucky. Tate Lettle taking no time at all to get back up towards the front. Oh, close out of turn 2. Collide and crash. This is going to be a big one. 48 slides across the racetrack. The 6 comes back across as well, gets the outside wall, and looks like the 27 of Cogswell's also gotten in it. And from green to yellow to green, back to yellow.
Also, Walensky getting a huge piece of the wall coming off turn 2.
Yeah, I'm not sure. You know, let's take another look at this here, but I think he just gets out of. It's a little bit tight. Gets up into the fence, and the 48. That crash might have happened whether or not the 6 hit the wall, but Cogswell's got a big lick on the inside there. And who was that snuck through? Is that Salmaso in the Dodge? Watch this. It's great stuff getting through that. Liam Sheen also did an excellent job getting through there.
It's a tough thing to judge when you have so many cars spinning across the track like that. Just gotta have to pick a lane and hope that no one hits you. Woo! Just like that.
That was Liam Sheen. Seas parted for the 72. Early caution slowing the progress after a short green flag run. And let's talk to Tate Lytle here for a second. Pull him in and see what his thoughts are. Hey, Tate, it's Kyle from SimTV. Got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Hey, Tate. Well, so far, so good. Short green flag run, then a pair of cautions. Is it tricky conditions out there? What are you feeling through that wheel?
Not too tricky. You just can't overdrive it on the cold tires, so just kind of trying to manage the stuff, and hopefully these guys will stop wrecking behind us.
How do you expect the line to change, if at all, over the course of this race, or do you think you'll just be fighting for that yellow line all night?
I kind of think it's going to be the middle lane, at least for tire conservation, but I don't know. We'll see how it plays out as the track gets cooler.
All right, Tate, hey, we're going to let you go. Get back to work. Good luck out there. We'll talk to you later.
Thanks, guys.
Let's see if we can also talk to Liam Sheen real quick, if he's around. Hey, Liam, it's Kyle from SimTV. Got a copy?
Yep.
Well, so far, a bit of drama there in the early going, getting involved with the collision with the 22, but you got back rolling. Doesn't seem like you have a lot of damage. Then you expertly slid your way through that second crash. Your thoughts on how your race has gone so far?
Yeah, I feel real bad for getting into Kyle there. I thought the tires were warm enough to make it stick, but other than that, I like these cars with this track. I almost got taken out on that one by a few inches, but other than that, I think we're in for a good race.
All right, we'll talk to you a little bit later tonight if time allows, but good luck. 1 to green. See you later.
Yep, thanks.
All right, well, lights are off for the pace car. Nice quick yellows here tonight. But it's still Burrell in the lead. I don't think it's going to last for very long with Tate on those 4 fresh tires, although it's got a couple heat cycles in it now, the 56 does, so not sure if it'll be a massive advantage anymore, but going back to the green this time. 10% of the way through this race already, and again, this race was 100 laps and 146 miles tonight.
I'm still kind of curious to really see. Obviously, didn't only really went half a lap, but to see how this all plays out between Burrell, Lytle, and some of the other guys in the front. And I believe who was it that stayed? Or it was kind of sharp. He's come back in.
Yeah, that was a smart move. I mean, that wasn't going to go very well, so you might as well come on down. Now, Burrell's hanging tight just because he's got the track position. I do think that he's probably going to get swamped here on this restart. He's got Chuck Sweeting in behind him, as well as there's the 83 of Johnny Thomas, Dave Hunt, all the guys that have got 4 fresh tires. They should be mighty quick here when the green flag drops once again. Our second caution of the night is relinquished for a green flag. It'll be lap number 12, racing again in Kentucky. Kind of single filed out real quick there. You see Grunberg on the apron trying to get out of the mix, but side by side for a second. Chuck Sweeting stole it away from Lytle, and Burrell shot out of a cannon trying to drive away while he can.
Yeah, I would say that he needs to do that. He can't afford these guys getting close to him. Well, side by side for second place.
Yeah, Johnny Thomas was in a 4-wheel slide through 3 and 4 to try to make up time, but he's going to tuck in right behind that fight for second. Behind them, that's Dave Hunt in 5th, Jordan McKeeboy and Michael Henry.
Oh, McKeeboy gets into Dave Hunt. Hunt going for a slide through turns 1 and 2.
almost got it. Wow, that was a good job that he did there to hang on. He's still out of control. Fighting for that wheel, and he's going to drop 1, 2, maybe 3 spots. Can't quite get in line in front of Tanner Sharp. Remember, Sharp's on 4 fresh tires after that most recent content. Only retirement from this race is Jonathan Cogswell. Levi Zielinski's a lap down, but still running.
Very good by Hunt to save that car is back to 7. Also, Hunt, he's actually run really well with this package.
Again, the tire really changed how these things fundamentally handle. And I think that for some drivers that benefits them, for other drivers it hurts them. We've seen Grunberg not be quite as dominant with this tire, but we've seen guys like Dave Hunt and Jordan McKeeboy really get good with it. And you see Tanner Sharp now down at the bottom. We'll see slightly older tires versus slightly newer tires now. Oh, that was a little dicey there.
Got a little bit of a wobble. Able to hold on to 7th place, at least for now.
Up the road, Michael Henry and Jordan McKeeboy trading spots for 5th.
Easy pass for the 88 car.
Salmaso and Liam Sheen fighting for 10th spot. Other than the bit of a hiccup early, Sheen's actually running okay tonight. Had trouble at Texas, only a couple laps in, and ended up not finishing that race.
Still trying to rock around that bottom lane. I mean, I think that's going to be good for him in the short run, but the long run, he's going to start wearing out his tire a lot more than the guys around him.
Ethan Burrell is holding up really strong with those tires. He's about a 10th slower, but he's led a couple laps, even with the tires that are 7 or 8 laps older. So it doesn't look like the drop-off is as extreme as it might have appeared to be. At least not as extreme as Texas was, but Burrell leads the way down the back straightaway. It's Sweeting, Lytle, Thomas, and Michael Henry, your top 5, and here comes Dave Hunt to the bottom, and McKeeboy up top.
McKeeboy starting to slowly drift on back.
Well, this is what happened at Texas as well.
Yeah, not sure. Yeah, I was gonna say, not sure if this is on purpose or if he's just kind of driving conservative, or if he's actually falling back. I think he might just be kind of pacing himself here.
Entering slightly lower, Dave Hunt, appearing like he wants to kind of late apex this, trying to get to the bottom. Not a lot of banking to lean on down there.
Yeah. Trying to get a run on Michael Henry. Henry running a lot higher up the track. You see all these guys take 3 different lines to the corner.
Yeah, just trying to figure out where the grip is right now. Hunt seems like he's found something in 3 and 4, but struggling in 1 and 2. And as we watch this battle, I'm also keeping an eye on that lead fight because it's getting closer, and behind them, Tanner Sharp and Richard Hines were going momentarily at it for 8th, but Chuck Sweeting made a mistake, and he dropped a couple tenths of a second out of turn 2. So it seems like Burrell, his tires are a little older, but he's hanging on.
Well, Lytle in behind them ran the fastest lap of the race, 32.094. So he's closing in on the leaders and closing in fast with in 3rd place.
Dave Hunt leading all over Michael Henry to try to get that 5th spot back. Hasn't been able to do it. Behind them, Richard Hines and Liam Sheen. Sheen clawing his way forward up to 9th place now as he gets by the 2.
Here's your top 3 breaking away from the rest of the field. Then we got Johnny Thomas, Michael Henry, Dave Hunt, Jordan McKeeboy, Tanner Sharp.
For the lead, Chuck Sweeting trying to roll that groove. I think that Grunberg's 12 seconds back from the lead. Yeah, not sure what's going on with that. I think up the road, this is Levi Zielinski about to go 2 laps.
Yeah, he is significantly off the pace. He's only pegging at around 158 into the corner, while these guys ahead of him are going over 180. So Zielinski really struggling with his car.
Hunt back to the bottom. Trying to get a run on Michael Henry. The outside groove going to give the 88 a push down the straight. And it'll re-clear. Up for the lead again, though. Sweeting is closing in ever so slightly.
He's definitely there, able to make a move. He's got to be careful or he can't just completely dive, because otherwise this little 14-month Lytle's going to have a shot.
Off into turn 1. You see the 53 still going at it back here. Some great battles all over the racetrack, although I fear this one could get a little dicey with them both kind of going for the middle of the racetrack.
Yeah, early where those points converge is, especially for the guy on the inside. Speaking of the guy on the inside, that's Zielinski letting the guys on by. He's trying to stay out there and run some laps. Really unfortunate.
Yeah, 2019 has really not been his season for luck, and these two getting real tight again out of 4.
Going to have them working further lane on the front straightaway. Shortest way around on the inside, going to have a better line into 1 as well.
Yeah, but the 88 was able to arc it in deeper. And it was a drag race down into turn 1, and the 88 could get that much deeper into the corner. And I think Michael Henry might be able to hold him off for a couple more laps But I think right now the 53 definitely is quicker. He's just trying to get by.
Give the 80 quite a bit of room. I think I'm going to have to back off of this fight for now.
He's getting such a good run through 3 and 4, though. So much better than the 88. Up to the lead, though. A 10th separates Burrell and Sweeting. Have been super impressed with this one car since the restart. Well, he's had to take extra care of his tires because they're a little about 5 laps older than everybody else's. That's 5 laps sooner that we'd expect this car to have trouble. These guys are going at it hard.
Yeah, Dave Hunt really wants to put Lane in a good place. While these guys are fighting it out, Keelan's just kind of sitting in behind, waiting to see, I guess, which one of these guys wins.
Closing in the 1/4 mark of this race, and that battle has fizzled. The one up front is just heating up, and Tate Lytle, surprised maybe that he hasn't been able to jump up there and fight with Chuck Sweeting and Burrell.
No, I'm not surprised. I think he's doing this on purpose. I think he easily could have gone up there. I mean, I ran the fastest lap of the race only a few laps ago. I think he's figuring, since there's 2 of them up there already, and they're obviously going to fight, I think he's waiting for one of those guys to win out, and then catch the guy who lost out, maybe make an opportunity out of that and make a pass.
You saw the one drive a bit deeper into the corner, so maybe he's using up his stuff on entry, and Sweeting's going to go into slow in, fast out approach. You see the run he gets on the exit of 2.
Yeah, he's going to inch just slightly closer to Burrell as he makes him move down to 3 and 4. Nope, he's going to stay behind.
Both hunting for the bottom of the racetrack. A bit of a slide off the bottom for the 1, and Chuck Sweeting chases him out to the outside fence out of turn 4, and across the line to complete the 1/4 mark of this race. Burrell on the apron trying to go the shorter way around. Bit of desperation there to hang on.
Just covering his bases here, making sure that 26 doesn't get a lane, because obviously Sweeting's got better grip, more grip than the one able to stick around that inside.
Three-way battle for the lead right now at lap 26 here at Kentucky for the 3WideRacing League Nationals Triple Crown. It's Burrell on older tires in front of Sweeting and Tate Lytle. Sweeting going to get to nose to the outside lane, but is it going to be enough? Yes, it will. Side by side now.
Yeah, definitely going to be present there. He's got his nose to the outside and slowly gaining down the front straightaway. You can see Lytle swerving in behind, trying to get a better line through the corner.
And I think the 56 is going to side with Sweeting now and kind of chase him around.
And he's opened up the door of opportunity. Burrell's kind of have to, really can't do much, can only ride along the bottom. And there you see Lytle enter himself into the equation. Not able to get there on entry, but will get there by mid-corner.
And should be able to throttle up and drive right around Burrell. So the tires held on, and this is something that Burrell learned for later. If we get a late race caution, and you only got a couple left old tires, stay out. It doesn't seem like it's that big of a deal. Later in the run, you're going to lose pace, and I think we all saw that coming, but Burrell held on very nicely. So now the question is, can Lytle catch Sweeting? We'll take you back there if they do start fighting, but back to McKeeboy and Hunt. Michael Henry's been able to drive off into the sunset, and that has left the 53 back here dueling with the 21.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think Hunt might have burned up his stuff trying to fight the 88. We saw him being very aggressive with him. So he might be drifting back. I think McKeeboy saw his opportunity and has now gotten past Dave Hunt.
Running exactly where he started tonight, 7th to 7th. This Johnny Thomas just kind of hanging out in 4th.
He's got a no man's land at the moment. He's got 2.3 seconds to the guys in front of him and a second and a half to the guys behind him. So he's just kind of out there by himself.
Got another guy that ran okay at Milwaukee, but I mean, Johnny Thomas, after his winning season in the trucks in 2018, I think we thought he'd be much stronger in 2019. Wasn't bad, but certainly wasn't quite at the level of where he was last year. So looking for a victory. Dave Hunt crosses over Tanner Sharp, but that 53 burned up his stuff and he's falling back.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened to McKeeboy. And Texas burned up his stuff, started to fall back.
Liam Sheen about to take another spot.
You know, it is
So Sweeting is leading by 0.4 of a second. Closing in the 1/3 mark of this race. Tate Lytle runs second, then Burrell, Thomas, and Henry. So green flag pit stops are going to become a legitimate concern here shortly. When do you think is the right opportunity to come down? And undercut, overcut, what's your call this time?
I think, I don't know, it's kind of hard to decide. I think we could honestly do an overcut. It doesn't seem like the fall off is as significant as we've seen at some other places.
Yeah, so we've only really dropped 0.3.
Yeah.
So I agree. I think the overcut might be the way to go. I don't think you're really going to gain a lot by short pitting, and you might as well pit later just to take on less fuel and all that jazz as well later in the race. So I'm on board with an overcut, and we'll see what people do, but still a couple laps until we start seeing the cars hit pit lane.
One of the first guy we're going to see hit pit lane probably is going to be Burrell. Only driver to not hit pit lane at all this race.
It's only about a 5 lap difference, so whenever we see the one hit pit lane, the other should shortly follow. Lytle was a couple hundredths quicker the last time through, and the 54 of Matt Grunberg, he's out. I didn't catch what happened to him, but he's been out for 4 laps and done. I don't know if he had damage of some sort, but he's done, and that basically means to take a look at the points. Yeah. And with Levi Zielinski struggling, Tate Lytle's got this wrapped up.
Yeah, pretty much so, unless something bad happens to Lytle. Even then, I don't know if Johnny Thomas can gain enough points. If Lytle were to have a misfortune at this point in the race, so I mean, more or less, it's looking wrapped up.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to the 54, but we didn't see anything drastic happen, so I'm not sure what happened here. Michael Henry under attack. Oh, car in the wall.
Again into the wall.
I think he's just letting cars by at this point. But Jordan McEvoy closing on Michael Henry, and it seems like McEvoy's learned something after Texas. He learned not to go out there and Grunberg's back out.
Interesting. I don't know. That
but it had some more beat.
Yeah, I was gonna say, that's what I was thinking. He pulled off to the side on the apron on a restart, and I think that might have been for he had to attend to something. I mean, unfortunately, it just doesn't really count for a whole lot.
Well, it doesn't count for a whole lot, and unfortunately, he's not going to be able to get any of those laps back, or at least a majority of them, because Levi Zielinski's right now in the free pass. Well, he's got 3 laps down, and Grunberg's 6. So obviously, Zielinski's running a lot slower, but we need 5 or 6 cautions to help out that 54. I just don't see us getting that many.
Actually, I think if Grunberg goes another lap down, he'll be forced to retire.
That's true. McEvoy takes a look to the inside of the 88, drove in deep. He's going to slip up the racetrack, kind of force the 88 up there as well. And he'll be able to drive right on by.
Just going to be clear and accurate. I also just noticed, too, that his sponsor is Jackson. I was wondering why he had a guitar on the back.
Yeah, it's not the scheme he's supposed to be running, but again, Trading Paint's all worked up tonight for some reason.
Well, I've seen worse.
And it matches his number, at least. Lead is getting a little bit closer. Lytle 3/10 back and was half a tenth quicker last time they got to the start-finish line. But Chuck Sweeting, another guy that has had some awful rotten luck this year, has won a couple races on the Cup and Truck side and has yet to win in a Triple Crown event.
I would argue that he probably should have won more races this year.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. And Rockingham almost in the bag. Oh, and iRacing crashed. All right, we'll be back in just a moment. All right, welcome back, Sim TV. Sorry about that. I think it's a Kentucky-related issue. A similar thing happened to the Fuel Cup Series race a few months ago. I know there's a few people that struggled with iRacing crashing randomly, and I know Matt Grunberg had Oculus crash before the last restart, and then iRacing crashed shortly thereafter. So I don't think it is an issue that will repeat itself. I think it's just this racetrack's got something wrong with it that needs to be addressed. So for the lead, Chuck Sweeting, Tate Lytle, you didn't miss anything up front. Those two running nose to tail, Lytle has closed in. It's only a 10th difference now between these two.
Yeah, I was gonna think he didn't miss anything. Didn't miss the pass to the lead. Could definitely happen now. I wonder, I'm curious, Lytle might honestly just be waiting for pit stops to occur and then potentially try to make a move.
And again, we're still waiting on the whole pit stop thing to occur, and I don't know if I'm not gonna have. I do have stint data. It's not correct, but coming across the line, and again, we don't.
Oh, speaking of pit stops, Ethan Burrell down to the pits for him.
All right, so I guess within the next 5 laps, we'll see everyone else hit pit lane.
That's actually telling me that you guys can't go.
It'll be a 2-stopper.
Yeah.
Because you can go 45 laps. Although these guys already made a pit stop. That'd be tight if they get a few cautions. But they're gonna if they get cautions, they're gonna pit for tires anyway.
Yeah. It's gonna be kind of close. I doubt you're gonna say 5 laps over the course of 45. So yeah.
So Matt Grunberg has called it. I believe he's called it a night. At least iRacing has crashed and put him 15 laps down, 16 now. So there's really no point in rejoining at this point. So unfortunate, but out of the fight. So it's now Lytle just trying to defend from. I think it's Johnny Thomas. Yeah, Johnny Thomas is the next realistic driver that could win the championship, and there's not even enough cars here to make up those points.
Lytle backing up the lead. Oh, okay. But they used him to come down onto pit road. We'll stay out there again.
Yeah, no one else.
These guys are going to try to run the tank out.
No one else has decided to come. Here's a fight for 9th, and while this has been going on, Liam Sheen has dropped to 12th. So he was up as high as 9th, and something must have happened because he's slid back a little ways. Closing in on the halfway point here at Kentucky Speedway. And again, don't forget to join us tomorrow night at 9:40. It is the Lernerville edition of the 3WideRacing League Street Stock Dirt Triple Crown. Our first time ever visiting there in the iRacing service. And then on Tuesday, we got 3 races. The Elite Modified Tour at 7:35. And then right after is the Fuel Cup Series from ISM Raceway and Grid Life Crowd Control Cup from Road Atlanta with the Mustangs. So all sorts of stuff coming up this week, and then a DC Region SCCA from Silverstone with GT3s on Wednesday, and then Fuel IndyCar again on Thursday. So that's what's going on this week. Very even drivers out front.
These guys are running within thousandths of a second per lap, so they're both evenly paced out. No doubt really winning. And I would have thought that Lytle might have been able to just kind of blow on by Chuck Sweeting, but he's had a rough time, or at least he doesn't seem to be interested in passing, at least yet.
I just think they're super equal right now. I think if he could have passed him, he probably would have. But you're also, when you're right behind like this, you kind of have a little bit of control over Chuck Sweeting because you're bothering him, you're in his mirror, and you also have a little bit of choice as to when you can pit because you can see what Sweeting's doing and react to it. Sweeting is completely at the mercy of what Tate Lytle does because Tate can beat him to pit lane or he can follow him to pit lane. There's nothing Chuck can do to give himself an advantage over the 56 right now. Gonna be halfway in about 2 laps. And they're just so even. And here comes the 56 with a bit of a run down the back straight. All the way back to 2001. You can convince me with that.
Yeah, I was going to say, that looks really well done. That paint scheme, and he sees Chuck Sweeting go a little bit high. Lytle's starting to build up a run here. There he goes for a look on the inside.
Yeah, I do think that the 56 is the better race car right now. But it's not by much. And Sweeting might give this up. It looks like he will. So move Tate Lytle to the lead. It took him 50 laps to get up there and stay there at least.
Is he going to do switchback? Oh,
no, I think he'll just tuck in here. So will Sweeting hit pit lane? About 5 laps from when Burrell came, but they will stay out. Meanwhile, in the background, there is Richard Hines. Wow, look at this fight. This is all for position. Almost 4 wide for a moment. Corey Lindsay rebounding quite nicely from that early crash.
Yeah, it could have been a lot worse. I'm sure he could still pick up the car a little bit more, but still a good recovery nonetheless. Dave Hunt's really pulling down the order now in 11th.
Yeah, Sam Close.
Past
We have not talked about Sam Close a lot at all lately because he just really hasn't been very good lately.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure what's up with this 5 because last season especially was really solid. He made it all the way to the championship round in the trucks. That this year really wasn't up there as much as we would have expected.
And hopefully he can turn around for next season. Also, another driver I'm just thinking of off the top of my head we haven't seen in a while, Paul Ross.
Yeah, where did he go?
Hey, he's had something in real life to attend to. Not sure exactly what it was.
He was around at the beginning of the season, if I recall correctly.
Qualified for the he left from mid-season. He was qualified for the playoffs, but had to give up the spot.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. I don't know if it was a work schedule change or whatever, but missing that. Hines and Corey Lindsay. This is for 10th.
Corey Lindsay back to the top 10.
Yeah, consider that spot traded. Sweeting hasn't dropped completely off the radar of Tate Lytle yet.
So if my memory's not, I don't remember these guys coming down into the pits. Whoa! Lead machine.
Oh, and a puff of smoke. He's gone.
Oh, he alt
F4.
Yeah.
Didn't want to alter the outcome of the race in a long green flag run, but just was exiting pit lane. He was on pit road receiving service and came back out, spotted out, Alt F4 before he could cause a yellow.
Yeah, so I don't remember if the leaders came back down to pits under that second caution.
They did not. It was the only driver that did come down that was notable was, I believe, Tanner Sharp in the 3 because he took 2 tires in the previous.
Okay. Oh yeah, so these guys are gonna have to go. So that means that they went about a little less than 45 laps. So they're really gonna have to try to stretch out this run.
Well, that's what. Oh, you see,
comes-
Lytle hit pit lane right now. So we did see that Ethan Burrell went about 45 laps, and I think that's what Tate Lytle just did. So that still means that you're gonna have to. Ooh, that's gonna be real tight. I mean, you should be able to. You should be able to make it. I mean, Chuck Sweeting will definitely make it. If you can go 45, that's 45 to the end right now. I'm pretty confident.
Yeah, because the thing is, he only went about 45, and that was with the cautions coming out.
True, but Sweeting
So-
did, well, he did another lap down in the book, so he only has to go 44 now.
And actually, a lot of guys are still going out there around as well.
Yeah, Johnny Thomas is in, Tate Lytle is in and out. Nice and clean stop for him. Burrell is probably going to drive on. I don't know if he's going to get by
He
Tate Lytle.
should. I would imagine that he should get the lead, considering how early he came in. Would have made up more time on fresh
Now,
tires.
yeah, well, Lytle's tires are also warmed up, and Tate Lytle's are cold and slippery, so it's going to take him a while to get up to speed here. And so Burrell and Tanner Sharp, well, Tanner Sharp's actually second on the lead lap still. So here comes Chuck Sweeting and hits pit lane. So he went, I think he's good. Maybe if one caution to save it, but
And I was going to say, I think these guys might need a caution to go all the way, but we'll have to see here.
I got a little dicey out of 4. Tanner Sharp now the leader. And
Yeah, and actually, so definitely, I think Tanner Sharp will be a good indicator of this. Because he came in on that last caution when we got the restart around lap 10. So he might be able to go to around lap 60, I think.
it looked like he's down on the bottom of the racetrack, motioning like he was going to come in this time. But he's, yeah, here he comes.
Doing it now.
So that tells me if he's, I mean, he could go longer.
Yeah,
so that
so-
tells me that he's comfortable with this distance that we have left, which is about 44 laps.
Yeah.
So I'm feeling okay.
And he's gone 47.
Yeah.
So,
I'm pretty confident that they're going to be all right. So Burrell hangs on to 4th place now, and he should actually cycle out to be the leader here. Michael Skinner, Corey Lindsay, Tanner Sharp still all have to pit. Tanner Sharp and Michael Skinner coming to pit lane, and they are in. So Corey Lindsay, the last driver out on the racetrack. And he was involved in that collision earlier in the race, and I don't know if I think he came back down a second time on that lap 10 caution. So he also has gone about what Tanner Sharp has gone. But see the gap that Burrell put on Lytle because Lytle had cold tires. It was almost worth 2 seconds to warm up those tires. So for Burrell, it's worked out quite nicely. Now the question is, how quickly is he going to get caught?
yeah, that too, and I think he's going to definitely have to make another stop.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, which is going to be really unfortunate because if he came down on that caution, unfortunately the strategy came to bite him.
Well, if he gets a caution at any point in the next 30 laps,
He'll be safe.
he'll be great.
Yeah. He's gonna be kind of keeping his fingers crossed. Unfortunately, though, everyone's pretty spread out at the moment.
See Tate Lytle kind of dealing with some lap traffic as well.
He's held up from Sam Close and Dave Hunt going at it. This is not for position. Both these guys are separated by a lap.
This is actually losing him time. He was slower by another 1/10. He's 2.2 back from Burrell now.
And there's a gap over the middle, but obviously he's not going to send it up the middle through. It's pretty risky. He might send it to the bottom part, and Dave Hunt's going to back out.
Yeah, here he comes. So he's going to dive up the inside into 3, and that'll put Sam Close on the outside. And the tire difference here might be enough to get the 56 by on the warmer stuff.
There he goes.
Whoa! Bit of a shove there on a turn 4. They're both going to carry the track or carry the cars up the hill, and I think the 56 got a nice, good chunk taken out of that rear bumper now.
Yeah, he's got a dent in the middle, huh?
Go back and take a look. This was coming out of turn 4. They were getting really dicey here as the 56 slid up the racetrack. Watch this. He caught him in the right rear, and that's almost one of those situations where you get hooked into the fence.
Yeah.
If they had been offset by another foot or so, that would have been disastrous.
Yeah, it's hard to judge with these cars because unlike their COT and Gen 6 counterparts, these things have a lot of curves to them. There's a lot of parts of the car that stick out further than you think. No, he's actually still not done yet.
Yeah, these guys are still going at it, and I'm sure there's some frustration for Tate Lytle as he's running in second right now. He's lost almost another second to Burrell, which is time that he needs to be catching that one car in case of caution. I mean, if we go green to the end, Tate Lytle's in a great spot. But if we get a caution, this is time that Tate Lytle could have used to go catch that one and put him in a better spot track position-wise.
Looks like Lytle's finally clear of that for now. He's going to go to the inside of Corey Lindsay.
Put a bit of a block on Dave Hunt. Corey Lindsay kind of up at the top of the racetrack, way up there. That's not very grippy with all the marbles. About 20 minutes left in this race, and it's Burrell still out front. Got a good portion of the laps tonight. Of course, this lap's led figure is not accurate, but he's led quite a few.
Lytle now trying to chase it back down. This lap through was 3 to 4 tenths.
Yeah, that was a lot faster, and so now that he's clear of some traffic, he should be able to reel in pretty easily. I guess the ultimate question, though, is how much time did he lose, and is that going to be important if we get a caution? Wow, the 5 out of turn 2. Elevator move top to bottom, get on by some lap traffic.
Yeah, had to get out of the way of Linsky. Linsky's actually been in danger of getting pulled down.
Yeah.
5 laps down.
This might be the end is near for the 6, just trying to hang on as much as he can, but that crash out of turn 2 pretty much took him out of the running. Here's Chuck Sweeting, and came in real late, gave up a lot of track position, so the overcut clearly didn't do what we thought it was going to do. He's now 3 seconds back from Tate Lytle, 5 back from Ethan Burrell. Is there any hope that Burrell can save fuel here?
It's going to take a lot. I don't really think there's really enough of power in these cars to really save. I think you pretty much have to keep it floored the entire way, otherwise you're going to lose a lot of time. So you don't really have a lot of opportunity to save gas.
I think the other thing is that if he does slow down to save fuel, he's going to lose all the track position he's trying to fight to keep anyway. So it doesn't seem like that would be very beneficial. So he might just be committing to that other strategy, or secretly hoping that somebody makes a mistake and causes a yellow in the next 35 or 40 laps.
I think that's pretty much his only hope at this point, is just for a caution to come out. He's got a decent amount of time left for that to happen, but...
And the thing is how frustrating is that for Burrell that you couldn't, I mean, again, you can't predict the future, and I'm sure at the time the track position looked inviting so early in the race, but everyone came on down, and that ended up being the difference between going on one more stop or going without any more.
Hindsight is 2020. Also looking at Chuck Sweeten working through Corey Lindsay. He's trying to catch back up to Lytle.
Cannot wait for next year when the 2020 jokes are literally just rampant.
I didn't even think of that.
It's going to be 2020 vision. It's going to be horrible. I'm not looking forward to it. Kyle Hanshaw, 9 laps down. I think he's been called in for the night.
Yeah, I think got called in on that.
That car is beyond.
Zielinski down into the pits.
Yeah, This is probably going to be giving up his situation as well, considering he's going to go another lap or two down in this process. Love how dynamic these cars look as they slide over the bumps through the corners. Kentucky's a very rough racetrack. Right on board.
You can see him shaking out the wheel. Almost looks like an AI car driving.
Morella's a machine right now, trying to keep that 56 behind him, but the gap is closing, and very quickly it's closing. Look at how much more corner speed the 56 carried through 3 and 4.
Gained a lot on entry, didn't lose anything on exit. If anything, gained back on exit as well. For Burrell, it's just a matter of time before the 56 catches up to him and passes him.
Gonna be this lap or next. See, the one just cannot keep that car glued to the bottom. He was real tight out of turn 2. He's gonna blow by him like he's stopped here. Three and 4 doesn't seem to be quite as big as 1 and 2. I think that for Burrell, he's really struggling on the first end of the racetrack.
I think it really has to do also with how tight the exit of the corner is. We saw him getting really tight out of 2 last time by. Curious how much of a fight he's going to put up if he can at all.
Well, it's 30 laps to go now, and it's about 16 minutes worth of racing. So if he can hold up the 56 any, that'd be beneficial, but it doesn't look like he's going to. He's going to give the 56 the lane.
He's going to give him a lot of room to spare as well. I think he knows he's not really necessarily
He's going to hit pit lane right here.
Ooh, I wouldn't have done that.
No, I would have, because here's the thing. He's going to have to pit eventually, right? So if you just wait longer, you're going to lose time on these old tires, and you're going to put yourself in a position where if a caution comes out later, you won't be in a good spot. I like this now because he's going to have a speed advantage over everyone on the racetrack. And if he gets a caution, he can stay out again and not have terrible tires. I like this call. He wasn't going to win the race doing what he was doing, so come on down now and try to use the tires until the end of the race.
Grimberg's paint keeps working. Now he's in the pits.
Well, now he's out. So Burrell is free and clear. And he's out. So, he's going to go a lap down here in this process, but I do think that he should be able to fight his way back onto the lead lap eventually. He's going to have to really make up some ground. Free pass position, certainly doable, and I think that's what he's going to be hoping for. Obviously, if the race runs green to the end, he's going to finish barely 10th, but if we get a caution, this is his game to play in now. So, closing on 25 laps to go, it's Tate Lytle out front. He won at Texas, ran okay at Milwaukee, and came into the night with the points lead in the Nationals Triple Crown standings. And with all of his competitors out of the race or down the order some, really no stress for Lytle to get this
if anything,
championship.
it's Chuck Sweeting, although Chuck Sweeting is relatively close, 2.3 seconds. You should see him actually come out of there. You see him barely peeking to the frame down the back straightaway.
And third place car is Johnny Thomas. We haven't talked about him a whole lot tonight.
Yeah, it's been a fairly quiet night for him in third place.
And this has just kind of been his season. When he has good nights, he just kind of runs inside the top 5 or top 10 somewhere. He's not having a bad year by any stretch, just compared to last season. It's just not running quite as well.
Tanner Sharp surprisingly ended up in 4th after all the cycled out. I mean, he's on fresher tires, I think more so than anyone in the field was one of the last guys to come into the pits. He's actually catching Johnny Thomas at a pretty decent rate. He's closing in.
So third place might get a bit spicy here shortly. 25 laps to go next time by. Last quarter of this race about to get underway. And we should be good and done with pit stops now. So Lytle's speed has slowed down about 32.3. And just for out of curiosity, Burrell just ran a 32.4. His tires are still coming up to 10. So he's a long way back, but I don't, waiting longer would have just made it worse. Sweeting is closing, just not very quickly. Salmaso hits pit. Whoa. I don't know if that was the intended behavior of that car. I just pulled over and came to a stop. Not sure what was up with 4, but he's done for the night.
It's unfortunate.
Closing in on 20 laps to go here at Kentucky Speedway, and the night has arrived. The sun has gone down, the lights are on. And Tate Lytle could do a 2 out of 3 sweep here tonight if he can just lead his final 23 laps. He has a 2.3 second lead over Chuck Sweeting. Then it's 9.8 back to Johnny Thomas, who's got Tanner Sharp all over him.
Talking about Tanner Sharp closing, and he's really kicked up into high gear here. I'm pretty sure if anyone's good to go to the end, it's definitely the 3.
Almost a half a lap behind the leaders. The front runners have some space to save some fuel if need be. A sad looking taillights on the back of the 83. A little droopy.
Yeah, it does look sad.
A little droopy. Have a 4-wheel slide for the 3. As Johnny Thomas hits the apron. Every time you see people hitting the apron in Kentucky, you know they're getting a little bit desperate because it's sketchy down there.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it. If anything, I would think you'd kind of lose a little bit of momentum.
Because you're slipping and sliding all over it. It's not like Las Vegas where it's pretty smooth and you can use it to your advantage.
Yeah. Here comes Tanner Sharp on the inside with the run and fresher tires to boot.
Should make this pretty, ooh, I was going to say easy, but they're door to door through 3 and 4. 20 to go this time by.
Across the line, it's tied.
Pretty darn close. Thomas tried to turn it a little bit deeper, and the 3 was kind of there, so he had to kind of abandon the turn in, and that's going to let the 3 take it away.
A losing battle for Johnny Thomas. He's going to end up falling back into 4th, and even not that far behind is Jordan McKeeboy in 5th.
McKeeboy's nice, started up towards the front, running 5th right now, and at Texas, shot out of a cannon, drove up front. He's definitely learned to modulate the tires a lot better tonight. Looking like he's in pretty good shape to run here. Now, for 9th place, a bit of a duel going on. That's Dave Hunt and Burrell. And Burrell's going to drive right on by again. He's got fresher tires.
Actually, let's see. So that's Burrell, and then Richard Hines, who's currently the free pass car in the free pass position.
Yeah, it's going to take Burrell maybe 2 laps to get there, and that'll put Ethan Burrell back in the free pass spot, which would be great for the late race caution. I'm not thinking that's super likely, given that we've lost a handful of cars and everyone else is fairly spread out. Chuck Sweeting is pretty much stalled out, 2.3 back from the lead. See Corey Lindsay try to slide up on Dave Hunt, couldn't complete that pass. Now he does. And what started out as an early good night for Hunt really has kind of gone south here lately.
Yeah, and she had a lot of pace earlier on, but I think has just been struggling to keep that pace going over the long run, which is what we saw with McKeeboy. McKeeboy's kind of figured out, whoa, whoa!
These really guys using each other up just a little bit.
Hunt's trying to hold on to this top 10 spot. Lindsay wants it though.
Back down to the bottom, crossover. Kind of pinched it off a little bit there on exit. Didn't quite get the run he needed. This car is looking really even right now. Maybe a slight advantage to the 0-0. He's the driver that's attacking. 17 laps to go and closing. About 9 minutes of racing left in this race.
Give up a really solid run off the corner. He's still only on.
Lindsay was really on the bottom of the racetrack, and the 53 is giving him more room. I think he should be using a little bit more of the racetrack, kind of pinching that car off and wearing out the tire more than he probably needs to be. There's even 2 whole lanes down there, so he can't arc it in quite as well. That's probably what's delaying this. It's up the road. Looks like Burrell has caught and passed Richard Hines. These guys are going at it. Neither one's willing to give up right now.
Oh, here comes Lindsay trying to clear before the exit. Can't get it done. Hunt's just going to rock around the outside.
It's so even and nowhere that Lindsay can really take it other than continue his assault on the bottom. No changes up front. Still 2.3 seconds between Lytle and Sweeting.
This is the closest battle on the track that they're looking at.
See how many lanes he's leaving so much up there, you know. You see how he pushes in the center?
Yeah.
You know, he's going to get it done. It's working out for him either way, and he's got it. Well, guess what do I know? Pass complete. hate that logo. It's blurry and it's blurry. All this going on about a lap and a half behind the leaders. There is Tate Lytle, your current leader. He's just been super good on this tire in this car.
Yeah, he's maintained that gap at about 2.3 seconds back to Chuck Sweeting. Sweeting really has not been able to make a dent in it. So much till the last lap through. Sweeting was only 5,000 slower, but again, not gaining on the 56.
Use that apron to try to gain some time. He gained 200ths, but that's not going to do it. You're going to need to take tenths out of it.
Yeah, he's going to need to be taking tenths, even honestly more so as we come down to 13 laps to go. I think it's looking less and less likely the 26 can do anything. Again, just kind of, I think he's hoping for a caution. I know Ethan Burrell's hoping for a caution.
Yep. Although Michael Skinner just went a lap down, so that just traded the free pass spot. It's a 5-second gap between Burrell and Skinner. Although Burrell's still lapping about half a second faster a lap. But at this rate, it'll only get there with, 6 or 7 laps to go, so it really won't do you a whole lot of good at this
point. You gotta hope that someone waits to spin out in 7 laps. Until he catches up to Michael Skinner. The last lap by as Tate Lytle was working around the 48, lost about 0.3 of a second.
Yeah,
so.
but again, it was just because of the traffic. I think we'll see the 56 right back on pace here next time around. Across the line, 11 laps to go. You know what this tire has done more than anything is allow people to spread out and kind of run their own race, which is not something that the Cup cars are able to really do anymore. And it has kind of made it a more natural progression of things.
And here comes, speaking of natural progression, here comes Jordan McKeeboy coming up on Johnny Thomas. He's running about, he ran 0.2 of a lap quicker than the 83.
Trying to jump out at the throttle, fighting a bit of understeer. Coming back to 10 to go, and Sweeting has closed down to 1.6. I do expect that gap to kind of creep up towards 2 seconds again.
Oh, ran 0.3 faster, and Lytle's clear. Traffic. I wonder if Sweeting is just waiting.
Yeah, we should keep an eye on this. 10 laps to go, and there's Sweeting. He's got to deal with some lap traffic. That is Michael Skinner. We'll see if the 48 pulls out of the way or if the 26 gets held up at all.
Imagine Skinner would pull out of the way.
And through 3 and 4, the 26 is going to have a great run. Won't really have to deal a whole lot with the 48. Through the line this time, what's the gap? It's a 32.8, or 32.6 rather, for Lytle, a 32.6 for Sweeting. So we're right back on pace again.
Yeah, Lytle's picked it back up in the high gear. I'm not sure if he was letting off or something, or what was going on with Lytle.
I just got thrown out of his rhythm getting by the lap car. 1.6. There's Burrell about to unlap himself. What could have been? I mean, he was quick tonight.
Yeah.
Really quick.
Just got caught up on the strategy.
Yeah. Guess he's learned his lesson.
Yeah.
Every time a caution comes out, you better be pitting.
Yeah, that's the thing, too, because, I mean, who would have thought, after 2 cautions early on, we'd go green from lap 10 all the way to the end. I don't want to jinx it, but, I mean, pretty much we're headed in that direction.
Yep. Well, and again, Burrell's been super fast. I think that this tire is going to be really good for him. I think we've seen a lot of drivers kind of had their talent exposed by this. Tanner Sharp is another driver I see that seems improved since we put this tire on. But for guys like Tate Lytle, he's got it figured out. 7 to go. Across the line this time, Lytle's speed, 32.8, 32.7 for Sweeting. You have to take bigger chunks out of it than that.
Still, if he can, I mean, it's going to be close.
It's going to have to be 6 perfect laps here shortly.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be that close. I think Lytle's going to get right back on pace here.
They really gained a lot that time by.
All right, so across the line this time, 6 to go. What's it going to be for Lytle? It's a 32.8 for Sweeting, a 32.75. Just he's nipping away at it. It's just not quite enough. If the gap was a half a second, it might be a realistic opportunity.
I don't believe, Lytle doesn't have any other traffic, I don't think, for quite a while.
Well, he might have to deal with Ethan Burrell driving up through them here. The rate he's coming, but he's actually kind of running similar times that they are, so not sure that that'll end up being a factor. Oh, Tate Lytle, for a moment, disappeared off the screen, but he's back.
And He's been doing it for quite a while. He's been having small flashes.
Another half a tenth gain for Sweeting, but 5 laps to go and time running out.
Looks like it's going to be too little too late. And the 26 found some sort of pace to catch up to Lytle.
The first 10 laps, we had 2 cautions involving the 72, the 22, the 00, the 4, the 6, 27, and a couple more drivers. But since then, it's been clean and green. Green flag pit stop sequences all the way through. We haven't seen necessarily the extreme tire strategy that we saw at Texas. But tonight, it's really been another Tate Lytle night. Walked into the night leading the points over Matt Grunberg, and he's going to walk home tonight with a championship trophy for the Nationals Triple Crown. And then head into the third event tomorrow night at Lernerville, trying to win that championship. Kind of bookend the season in which he had an opportunity to run for the Cup Series championship. Things didn't quite work out there, but getting his redemption tonight.
Yeah, finished runner-up in the Cup. Actually, no, he did not finish runner-up in the Cup Series.
And third, I think.
Yeah.
It's Justin Cole that finished second. And Grunberg run out of fuel about 100 yards earlier. We might be talking about a different timeline, but things didn't quite work out. 3 miles to go as they get to the line. It'll be 2 laps. 4th place getting a bit spicier as McEvoy is trying to reel in Johnny Thomas.
I thought he would have caught Thomas and passed him by now, but it looks like they kind of evened out. McEvoy doesn't seem to have quite enough to get past Johnny Thomas, unless Thomas makes a mistake here.
Haven't seen Thomas make a whole lot of mistakes tonight, so I don't think that's super likely. Sweeting did gain a bunch that lap. 2 tenths, puts him 1.1 back, but it's going to have to be a monumental gain in the next 2 laps for anything to happen. So next time by for Tate Lytle. Earlier this season, we started the Nationals Triple Crown after a long season of racing in 2019. He went out at Texas and won that race. It's white flag for Tate Lytle.
Yeah, looking really solid in this car, more so than Matt Grunberg. And I'm honestly concerned about Grunberg if they are indeed going to use this as a Cup car. Grunberg, I don't think might be as dominant as we've seen in the past.
Yeah, this year he absolutely wiped the floor, in the trucks especially, but things, we might be seeing a changing of the guard here as Tate Lytle works through 3 and 4. It's going to be a second victory in 3 races. It's going to be a Nationals Triple Crown Championship. Tate Lytle wins in Kentucky. Chuck Sweeting comes home second. Tanner Sharp, a long ways back, managed to grab third away from Johnny Thomas in the last 20 or so laps. He'll get on the podium here.
Ooh, and Johnny Thomas and Jordan McEvoy here got pretty close, came down to quite a bit.
McEvoy sent it in 3, couldn't make it stick though, and he'll end up finishing inside the top 5. Ethan Burrell, with all that had happened to him, he came home in 7th, so that was still a really solid comeback for that one. Here's a look at your race results before we head to break momentarily. Lytle, Sweeting, Sharp, Thomas, and McEvoy your top 5. Then Henry, Burrell, Skinner, Hines, and Lindsay rounding out your top 10. 2 cautions in our 100-lap race. 94 of our laps were green flag. We'll be back in just a moment. Stick with us. Welcome back live to Sim TV. We're here now with our third place finisher, Tanner Sharp, in the number 3. Tanner, a strong run tonight. You kind of had a 2-tire strategy call earlier that didn't quite work out. You came back down, put 4 on it, put you in a good position to come later for tires and fuel. Ended up 3rd. Talk to us about your race tonight.
Maybe I should have stayed out and tested 2 tires out because I wasn't very good on the restart. And I was debating whether I should come down and just grab 4 and just see how the race plays out because I'm thinking there's going to be a long green flag run since there's some guys that already spun out. So that's what I did and got a long green flag run, got through some guys, made a little paint trade in here and there, but, you know, played our pit strategy just right for a green flag run, got us up there in the top 3, got a solid 3rd shot of it. And plus, we led a lap tonight, so I'm happy with that. So I can't complain.
How was the tire wear tonight? We didn't really get an opportunity to kind of talk to anybody about how the tire was wearing. Did it seem like it was kind of on par with Texas, or did it seem like it was less?
Weird. It's just my opinion because you couldn't really run extremely hard on that very first lap to run that quote sexy lap time. So I was just trying to babying it the first 5-10 laps, and once first 10 laps came along, I could really go, and really the car was sticking fairly well. And as the run went on, I felt like I could just gain on guys. So I was trying to figure out or what. I don't know, but I felt like the tires were better on the longer run than it was on the short run.
All right, Tanner Sharp, 3rd place tonight, the number 3. Tanner, nice job. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Yeah, thank you.
Moving on now to, I think we're going to try Burrell. Oh, Chuck Sweeting is in the booth now. Here, 2nd place tonight. Chuck, a strong run, but didn't quite have enough to catch Tate. What'd you need there in those closing laps to go get that 56?
Well, a clean exit from pit road would have been nice. I think I lost about a second or so there, but I don't know. That probably wouldn't gave me the win. Tate was just a tick better than me tonight. He's good every week, so congrats to him, and it was a good race overall.
Tonight, we didn't really see a whole lot of necessarily. We didn't see anybody really explore the super high lane of the racetrack. We saw everyone kind of bottom feeding. Did you feel like you could kind of move around a little bit, or was it kind of mostly bottom dominant?
I tried moving around a little bit, but it was pretty much the standard line here, which is that second groove. You could get the left sides in the first lane to make it rotate a little bit, but I think I don't know. I'm not really sure if that helped it or hurt it in the longer run. So I don't know. Tate seemed to have it figured out in the long run. That's why he kind of ran me down, passed me right before pit stops there, and I stayed out a couple extra laps just to be sure about the fuel, and was hoping maybe he'd have to save a little bit, but he was good the rest of the way too. So I don't know. The track didn't really change a whole lot for me tonight.
All right, Chuck Sweeting, 2nd place tonight. Chuck, thanks for talking. We'll see you next time.
All right, thanks, guys.
Absolutely. Moving on now to Ethan Burrell. Hey, Ethan, you got a copy?
Yeah, I gotcha.
Hey, there you are. Well, tonight, early in the race, you decided to stay out on one of the early cautions, and it kind of ended up having a kind of a snowball effect that meant you had to make an extra pit stop towards the end of the race. Would you have done anything differently if you could do this race over again, or do you feel like you're still pretty satisfied with a 7th?
Yeah, I definitely felt like I had good speed to run with Tate and Chuck up there, but yeah, no, early on, we had those 2 quick cautions, so I figured, well, I didn't have a good qualifying run, so maybe I'll stay out and get some track position, and then, the only part I was missing to make that work was a caution at some point later in the race, but, I mean, it was cool that we went green, for, 88 laps or so, but I just needed that one more yellow to get back on the same cycle with those guys.
Looking forward to seeing you around here a little bit more, Ethan, but this Triple Crown experience had to be kind of interesting, to say the least, with this new tire model. How do you feel like it helped you or hurt you as a driver with the introduction of this more sensitive to wear tire model?
I think it's helped me out. Not only just, I don't know. I usually feel like I'm a pretty conservative racer. I'm usually pretty wary about taking care of the tires, so I feel like this tire model specifically kind of helps highlight that. So I think it's going to make me a lot more consistent on where I'm running, and as long as nights like tonight where the strategy just didn't work out, as long as everything works out as planned, I think I'll be getting a lot of good finishes.
All right, Ethan. Hey, congrats on your 7th place finish. Good run tonight. We'll talk to you next time.
All right, thank you.
Absolutely. Moving on now to Tate Lytle, your race winner tonight. Tate, you wrapped it up. 2 wins in 3 races and the Triple Crown Nationals Championship. Talk to us about your night and the short little Triple Crown season.
Yeah, I love the Triple Crown race just because it's normally the races are short, they're fun, and it's normally cars and tracks that we don't generally run. A little bit different with the national cars just because we were trying out the new tire model. But yeah, it's cool to finally be a champion after being so close a couple times this last year and a half.
There were some good battles with you and Chuck throughout the race. Talk to us about the handling of the car, how it changed over the course of the race, if at all, and how'd you end up beating that 26? Because he was mighty fast tonight.
Honestly, I thought he was going to drive away because he kind of drove away from me in practice, and I was able to keep up with him and then pass him there before those green flag stops and got the 10-point bonus. And then I pitted. I knew I could go 47, so I pitted coming to 46 to go. And he stayed out a couple more laps, and I think that was kind of the difference because he was tracking me down. I was trying to keep my stuff cool just in case there was a caution with 3 or 4 to go, but he was tracking me down pretty quick, another 10 laps, and he probably would have at least gotten to my bumper.
All right, Tate Lytle gets it done. Championship for the Nationals Triple Crown and a 2nd win in 3 races. Tate, congratulations. We'll see you tomorrow night.
Thanks, guys.
Absolutely. And here's one last look at your race results before we leave you for tonight. We'll be back again tomorrow for the Dirt Triple Crown finale at Lernerville with the Street Stocks Fitting. Your thoughts on this tire model again? A pretty decent race, much more natural progression than we're used to seeing.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think this, obviously wasn't a nail biter the entire way through. It was pretty close to the lead all night long. Wasn't completely set in stone. We figured that Lytle would be the one winning this race, but still Sweeting was right in behind him. But yeah, I think this comes to show that close doesn't necessarily mean a good race. Just because the drivers all close together within fighting for tenths, but really can't do much. I think I rather prefer these guys to be separated by seconds, but still be able to mount a charge at the end. We saw Sweeting almost being able to do so, but yeah, I think this is great. I really do hope that they use this car as their Premier Series car for next season, if not something else. I think just to kind of experiment and just try something new.
That'll do it for us tonight. We'll see you tomorrow night, 9:40 p.m. That link will go up sometime tomorrow mid-morning. We'll see you later. Have a good night.